Hey everyone, in this quick video I wanted to show you how to get your images to display correctly here in Tiki-Toki. It seems that many of us have gotten the hang of that, but I know there are some questions about it, and it is always something that can be a little bit of a sticking point, so I just wanted to reiterate how that is done. And so I'm going to use the example here of Shelby's post because she asked a question about this on the discussion board. And so I want to, again, just demonstrate how this works. So you'll notice here, when you click on more, she has her link to her outside source, which is great. I'm going to go to admin. So click on the editing tools, and I'm going to select her entry. Oops, I got to move my head. I forgot I'm on the wrong side here. There we go. And so she's chosen to write about the Creole Revolution and imperialism, an excellent topic for the timeline because it does relate to the type of revolution that kind of won the day across Latin America in the early 1800s. It was the basis of all of the new nations that took shape following independence from Spain and Portugal. Brazil, of course, is a little bit different case, so I maybe shouldn't have lumped those together, but from Spain, for sure. And so what we want to do then here for the image section is find an image that will illustrate this particular topic. I don't know exactly what angle she's taken yet because she hasn't finished, and that's totally fine. And so she may or may not want to use the image that I find here to demonstrate, and she can go back and replace it later. But you click media to add your image. And it looks like we can see that she tried to add an image here because there's a spot for it, even though it's not displaying. When I looked at this looks like the same URL that goes to her outside source. So it's a chapter from a book that is posted on ResearchGate. It's a great chapter on this particular topic, an excellent source to use for this. It doesn't work as an image though. And so what I've done is I've opened another tab. I'm going to click there, and I've done a Google image search. So to do that, you just do images.google.com, and I searched for Creole revolutions in Latin America. And so this is, again, one of those things you kind of have to look at the images that come up and decide if they are the ones you want to use. With historical topics and even historical figures, sometimes you'll put in someone's name and a sketch or something like this will pop up. It might not be the person that you're looking for, so you need to always click onto the image, read a little bit about it to decide whether or not it's something that fits your particular topic. Since we're talking about Creole revolutions, we're talking about those led by people of European descent who had status for the most part in Spanish America, but were second class to the Peninsulares, who were those who had come directly from Spain, who had been born in Spain. That was mostly the only difference between those two. So again, Creoles had status. In many cases, the kind of independence they were hoping for was fairly in line with the status quo in interesting ways. And so that's just something to know about the nature of independence as we look at these images. I know this one, without clicking on it, is a depiction of the Haitian Revolution. And I've shared some stuff on Twitter about the Haitian Revolution, which was the first widely successful slave revolt against French dominance in the Caribbean that actually resulted in the independence of a new nation that was run and controlled by former slaves who had freed themselves. And so it's a very different kind of thing than a Creole revolution. And so I'm not going to choose that image. But I went on about that just so that you think about those kinds of things as you look at what images you might want to choose. Let's see. We'll just go with a safe one here, Simon Bolivar. And what you can do, again, if you know, I know this is Simon Bolivar, if you know what it is, you don't necessarily have to click further and actually see the website, but you can do a right click directly on the image here and then choose copy image address. This is usually the thing that creates issues with Tiki-Toki. You can't just copy the URL that's up here in the browser bar. You have to put your cursor on the image itself, right click, and then copy the image address. So now that I've done that, I can go back over here and I can replace this. So I'm just going to paste the URL that I just copied, the image address here, and click Save. And now we see Simon Bolivar. So again, I hope that's helpful for everyone. And as I mentioned, Shelby, you can switch that image if you would like to. I don't know that it's necessarily the one you want, but I'll leave it there so that you can see how that worked when you go back into Tiki-Toki. As always, let me know if you have any questions, and I hope that your week is off to a good start.